What's up?
How you doing?
It's clean. It's clean.
I appreciate it. Gotta stay sharp.
Who's this guy, though?
Jake. Well, look, I just wanted to make the proper introduction.
Oh, I appreciate that.
Oh, Zach, this is the number to my office. All right? Call anytime.
If I were you, I would get in a brokerage firm instead of a chain bank. Look, we are the best, but there's a lot of great guys out there. You don't have to go with us.
That you and Gary?
Yes.
Okay, Sistas fans, I feel like I've done a couple videos on the subject already, especially when we saw the promo prior to the episode where we first saw Gary and Zach interact on the basketball court. I think in like, what was it, episode 4, the night game? I forgot the exact title and whatnot, but I know the episode was called the night game. And the question was always, okay, should Zach trust Gary? Is Gary going to screw Zach over? And if you've watched my review for the episode, I kind of went into detail on it. And of course, I'm doing an isolated video on the subject. But in my personal opinion, I think Gary, and by extension Jake, I think they're trustworthy when it comes to the finances of Zach as a potential client at the company that they work at as hedge fund managers. Now, that's just my opinion, because I know the scenarios are different, but hear me out. Notice how whenever, let's say Andy, for example, I think Andy's the best person to use as the catalyst, or yeah, the catalyst in this example, because, well, actually no, because a catalyst is a constant and Andy's constantly changing. But basically, Andy's the best character to use because she knows the Zach of the present, or the Karen era. She isn't fully aware of the Zatima era Zach. The Zach that's with Fatima versus the Zach that's with Karen. I mean, the best example of this is how she reacted to Fatima revealing that, yeah, I have his phone, accidentally swapped it because they look so similar, phone cases and whatnot. But also the fact that he gave me the passcode to his phone. And wait, Zach, the Zach who always had his phone with him under his pillow when he slept, in the bathroom when he went to the bathroom with him. I mean, yeah, with him when he went to the restroom, in his pocket whenever he went anywhere. That Zach isn't on his phone. And then Fatima, she was shocked when it's like, wow, no, ever since we've been together, he's barely been on his phone and whatnot. So the Zach that Karen had is not the same Zach that Fatima has, and slowly but surely, Andy's starting to realize it. And I remember when she was, you know, on their cases about the whole Hayden murder thing, she was saying, you know what, I haven't known Zach since he got this money. You know, I don't know the Zach that's rich now. So basically, what I'm trying to get at is, if people are different when they're around certain people, like the person that's in a relationship with a woman isn't the guy that's in a relationship with a woman isn't usually that same guy when he's out with his boys. And like I said before, just looking at the basketball court scene, Gary, Zach, and even Aaron to an extent, even though we didn't really see Aaron interact with, let's say, Gary on the court, we only saw him have that awkward moment with Zach. The guys were pretty chill. Like, you know, they were on opposing teams, but it doesn't like there was a fight that broke out. It's like, look, they were just playing basketball. If it were the women, you know, it's all kinds of drama, because we see usually the worst of the fellas when it's involving the females, because the females, you know, thrive off the drama and whatnot. Whereas the guys, you know, hey, they're just playing basketball. So I think for me, the Gary that's the hedge fund manager who's trying to give Zach advice and maybe even have him as a client at his company, that's a Gary that is not the same Gary that we see when he's trying to pursue, stalk, and, you know, harass Andy. That's what I think. And also look at the fact that people, and the biggest thing is, people want to go to the end of season 1 when Gary was arrested for money laundering and whatnot. And what about when his banker or whoever, I need to go back and get the name of that banker, by the way, because I wonder if it was, you know, one of the characters who will be coming up in season 4. Hey, Andy, here's the number to my personal, like, accountant or whatever. And then he's going to ask you for your personal bank information. I need to move some money due to the upcoming divorce between me and Jasmine, and I don't want her taking my stuff. So then by doing so, Andy winded up with a huge chunk of money in her account. Sabrina saw it. And then after that, all of her accounts were drained. And then, you know, the government sieged everything from her. Well, basically froze her assets and took everything from her. But then it was revealed that Gary is innocent. This was all a plan by Bellamy, Jasmine, and Morris. Gary had nothing to do with this. This was all some elaborate scheme. So basically what I'm trying to get at is, I don't think Gary is a bad dude in this scenario when it comes to Zach. I think with Zach, it's just one brother helping out another. Yeah, it does look a bit shady in the promo for next week when you're playing basketball shirtless. I know it's funny. It's like, Jeremy, why do you keep saying shirtless? I don't know why. I just find it hilarious to like put that little nod in there. They're playing basketball shirtless late at night, and Gary's like, hey, are you getting hounded a lot by... Oh, actually, let me get the exact quote real quick because they dropped the official trailer. Don't want to misinterpret it. What does he say? Oh yeah. Are you getting some heat? Oh wait, you getting some heat on you about the stocks, right? And Zach's like, yeah, how you know that? These are the wrong people asking the right question. They are the wrong people asking the right questions. So basically he's like, something must be going on with the stock, because if you look at how Jake was talking to Zach in the episode about how the stock was, you know, doing certain things like the merger and whatnot, it makes you wonder if there is some shady stuff going on. Like, I mean, given that they are hedge fund managers and whatnot, they probably know about this kind of insider stuff and what looks shady and what doesn't. They probably want to warn Zach before something bad happens. But also the fact that based on the episode synopsis for upcoming season 4, character descriptions for new characters who have yet to come into the series, and the fact that Jake is more than likely going to be a character in the upcoming Zatima series who's dating a girl named Angela who happens to be Karen's bestie. So that's just something to keep in mind too. And it's like, well, Jeremy, if Angela is Fatima's best friend, how come she wouldn't know who Jake is? Well, in some of these scenarios, these women on these shows talk about their significant other without even naming them. Not to mention, the character didn't exist yet. Maybe Angela is the name of the character who Fatima called on the phone for that fake phone call to trick Hayden. You never know. But regardless, I honestly think Jake and Gary are good guys who are trustworthy in the Zach storyline, because like I said before, when they initially were going to share a scene, I'm like, Tyler is going to try to redeem Zach in the eyes of Zatima fans by having him help out Zach, but also, you know, justify Gary still being around by having him mix and match with other characters. Like I mentioned in my episode review, I said, honestly, I could see Preston being gone for an extended amount of time, because in last night's episode, there's really no need for the character to stick around. I do know there is a female character coming into the show later on, and she's going to be on a date with Preston, but then Danny interrupts. So that kind of tells me that Preston's going to just go about living his life, and then Danny's going to interrupt, but whatever. So yeah, I think that when it comes to Zach and Jake, this is just strictly business. They're helping out a brother. I love the way Tyler Perry portrayed the two when it came to hey, we couldn't reach you by phone because Fatima had Zach's phone. So they decided to come over to Zach's place just so Gary could do a face-to-face. Hey, you know, this is my associate Jake. He's the one I referred you over to. Since we couldn't, you know, get together on the phone, I just wanted to make a face-to-face introduction. And he pretty much said, hey, here's my number if you need to call me. He even said, oh, you're talking about renting out the other half of this duplex. I'll keep that in mind if I know somebody who's looking for a place to live. And then Gary bounced. And then from there, Jake went ahead, gave some advice, and even said, hey, you know what? Let me change some clothes. I'll help you put up some paintings. And going on further from that, it's like, you know what, hey, thanks for the invite. I gotta go check on my girl, probably Angela, and I'll meet you at the basketball court. So yeah, I think they're cool. I think they're legit. So in my opinion, they got my stamp of approval. Trust and believe. If I'm wrong, I will take that L, but I just want to believe that Tyler is writing competent black businessmen to help out another brother who's coming up on the rise. I mean, hell, remember Jake even said, hey, I'm not saying that you have to switch from a let me get the right terminology here. Just bear with me as I go through my notes. I want to be as, you know, as accurate as possible. But what did Jake move from a chain bank to a brokerage firm. because he's dealing with stocks and it's bigger money and whatnot. So there are a lot of advantages that come with working with a firm as opposed to a chain bank. So, you know, Jake wanted to get that extra kind of customer service, like, yo man, let me help you out. So it's like, oh, I see what's going on here. But I feel like Jake is a good dude. Look, again, I could be wrong, but I want to believe that there are at least some good brothers in this show. Plus he's half white. That should count for something, right? I'm only joking about that because Zach had that funny moment. It's like, yo, you come up here with the curly hair and whatnot, come on, like, which one of your parents is white? So that was pretty cool. All right guys, well, that's all I gotta say. Like I said, if I'm wrong, I'm wrong, but I think that Gary and Jake are legit. Like I said earlier, if you're only basing Gary being, you know, sinister and whatnot and trying to trick, you know, Zach, is like, well, how do we know the millions of dollars he's spending on Andy extravagant gifts like the penthouse and the cars? How do we know that ain't money from people he's robbed, you know, in the past when they've been clients at the firm? You're absolutely right. I could be wrong, but I don't think that I am. So thanks so much for tuning in. Remember, the whole FBI crap was something that was a setup, not legit. And like Tyler Perry said, Gary has not lied once. I could count it 3 times, and neither of those scenarios involved, like, you know, him jacking people of their money. But hit the thumbs up button to show you like the video, hit subscribe, and hit the bell icon and select all to allow all YouTube notifications. That way you are aware whenever I post content on the channel. If you are not getting notifications, you may need to unsubscribe and resubscribe in order for the notifications to come through. Follow me on social media. Links are in the description. And if you want to make me as rich as Zach, go ahead and donate to the channel via PayPal or Cash App.